Hey there and welcome back. I know that I still have the same clothes. That's because it is only 2 minutes from the last video. I just wanted to make another video talking about the licensing in Europe. While doing some research about the licensing here, I came across Europe, which I knew a little bit about. Not until I went into depth in it that I realized how much different it is than over here and maybe how much more safe it is over there. I'll throw up the whole picture of the licensing categories and requirements that you have in Europe as opposed to something right here, which is the California ones, at least where I live. The main difference concerns that I see is safety and experience throughout the whole thing. If I were to live in Europe, I would not be able to ride what I currently ride until I'm about 21 years old. That's if I had the license from the age I'm at right now, which is between the first few categories. Once you go through all of them, only then can you ride a 1000 at 21. If you don't, then you have to wait until you're 24 to pick any displacement motorcycle. If you're in California right now and you have 15 and a half years in this world, you can go pick up a ZX14R and do whatever you want with it. You can take it down the freeway, you can take it down the streets. Oh, well, maybe not the freeway, but until you're 16, you have to have 6 months with the permit. But once you're 16, you can take that thing down the freeway, any displacement motorcycle, whatever you want to have, you can have. In Europe, you're only down to about a 125, which is something like a Grom over here. And I'm pretty sure at 16, you could only have something like a 50 centimeter scooter or something like that. That is very, very different than anything we have over here. I've seen many 17, 16-year-olds on a Hayabusa, but I think that the law requirements in Europe are much more strict for many reasons, and maybe that's why we have a big difference in something like crashes and also, well, deaths per motorcycle rider. We all know that motorcycling is pretty dangerous and it has its downsides, obviously. You could be riding perfectly, but if someone that isn't paying attention comes over, he might ram into you and you probably will, unfortunately, end up dying. Now, although it is dangerous, the way a lot of people ride here make it a lot worse and the risk double or triple. Like if you're swerving through cars and you filter through all of the cars and go straight down between all of them, that is obviously gonna higher risk of being in an accident, crashing and falling. But that isn't the only thing that's keeping these risks as high as they are. The other reason though is the type of motorcycles you ride. If in the first place you weren't able to buy something like an R6 or a 600 Super Sport or a 1000, then you couldn't go at those speeds to begin with. If I were only riding a 125 or a 50, then I obviously couldn't go over 40 miles an hour. The point of that is to show the statistics between Europe crashes and crashes here in the States. I know that each state has their own laws, but mainly they don't change as much. I'm not saying that I want to lower the standards of displacement and age, because obviously I wouldn't want to swap from a 1000 right now, but I'm saying that people should be more responsible in general. If you're riding in that type of way, as I said, filtering through everything, going 120 down the freeway, then obviously the risk of that happening and a crash going on are a lot higher than what they would be. That also makes insurance go higher. Anybody with a bike that might want to get into it now thinks that, oh, no matter what, they're gonna die, so they might not want to pick it up as a hobby anymore. That also puts everyone else in a biker category as a generalized category in which everyone speeds and everyone does that type of thing as far as the sport bike category does go. But I think that people are finally starting to understand and realize that you don't need a super large displacement motorcycle just to have some fun on the street. If you take, for example, the CX4RR, that motorcycle is a 4-cylinder 400 that revs up to 16K, which you can have a lot of fun in, and you might actually learn a lot more riding that thing than riding a 1000 and going fast in a straight line. That bike is going to teach you how to lean, how to go into corners correctly, how to actually ride, as opposed to a big displacement bike that you aren't really comfortable in. Not only is it fun, but you get to go high into those revs and get all the power out of that motorcycle without necessarily breaking the law. You can go 60, 80 miles an hour and be up in the 12,000s, 14,000 RPMs, and you're, one, being a lot safer, and two, having more fun since it's a more lightweight bike. You can flick it around and throw it into the curves. I'm glad that we are able to have these laws here as opposed to the ones in Europe, because obviously you have a much broader range of motorcycles you can choose from. Well, maybe not broad. You can choose from any motorcycle at any age here. So you can always get what you want if you have the money to buy it. But I'm just saying that people should maybe take some of that into consideration and realize that everything in Europe, all the laws that they have are made for specific reasons, and we don't have that here. So when buying a motorcycle, don't always go for the biggest, the fastest thing you can get, and something that, as opposed to that, you can learn on, you can have fun on, and you can actually use, as opposed to a 1000. I know that this was kind of short, but I just wanted to bring up that topic and give some information about that, share it to some people over here. Maybe some don't know about it. I kind of already had some ideas of it, but I didn't didn't actually go into depth about it and do the research about it until not too long ago. And that's when I realized how much more different it really is. I hope that you enjoyed this other video. If you haven't checked out maybe the last one, and I also have one about the new 3-cylinder bikes trying to replace Super Sports. So if any of that interests you, I'll leave them in my channel. You could check it out. They're probably a couple videos back. So thank you again and have a great day.